Hope everyone's doing well this morning. And welcome to Intro to Instagram Crash Course. Now, I did have a couple of questions sent to me by email asking me the difference between this class and Thursday night's 2-hour workshop. The idea behind these crash courses is to get down into the nitty-gritty of what you need to go and need to know in order to just go and do it within 45 minutes or less. The workshop tomorrow night that is 2 hours long, obviously we have a lot more time, so we can explore a lot more questions. We can actually get into the app, and we can look at not only how you use it but what you should do with it. So if you take this and you decide you want to know more, you're absolutely welcome to join the Thursday night class. That is absolutely free. But hopefully this will get you enough information to go ahead and get started. So a few housekeeping things. Hello, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Sammy. I am the Events and Education Coordinator at Goosefoot. So I work on these workshops, I work with our business community, and I run all of our events and our social media. Obviously, Instagram is very integral to reaching a broader population than just, say, Facebook or print media. So I am quite fond of the platform. I use it a lot. So if you guys have any questions, please feel free to ask them at any time. You can ask them in the chat. As I mentioned on the first slide, please switch your to field to all panelists and attendees so everyone can see your questions, not just me. There is also a question and answer feature where you can ask your questions and it gives me a little pop-up notification that there is one to answer. Honestly, I am checking both the chat and Q&A at all times, so please feel free to put your question in whichever one you feel more comfortable in. I will do my best to answer it during the course of this workshop. One last thing for those of you who are not familiar with the Zoom webinars, it's a little different than the Zoom meetings you might have been in. As a webinar, the only microphone and camera that is active is mine, so I cannot hear or see you. Your only way to communicate with me is through the chat. So please utilize that function if you need it. If I'm talking too fast or you need something explained again, please feel free to ask me. Unfortunately, I won't actually be able to pull up the app in today's workshop. We just don't have time for it, but I will in tomorrow night workshop. So let's get into it. The biggest thing you need to understand about Instagram is it is an app, not a website. So what this means is, unlike Facebook, where you can log into it on your computer and do things, and you can log into it on your phone and do pretty much the exact same things, maybe just in slightly different ways, Instagram does not work this way. It is an app, which means it primarily functions only on mobile devices, such as your phone or your tablet. You can go look at Instagram.com on your computer. You can fiddle with a few of your settings. You can start an account and you can like and comment on other people's stuff. But if you have tried to make your own Instagram posts on your computer and you're wondering why it doesn't work, it's because it's an app, not a website. You can only make posts for yourself from a mobile device. So that is my number one tip. That's usually where I see the light bulb go off in these intro classes. You cannot post to Instagram from Instagram.com on your computer. You've got to download the app on your phone or your tablet. Obviously, it is totally free to download and it's on every single app store, no matter what program you use, whether it's an iPhone or an Android or a Windows phone or on and on and on. They all have it, but make sure you download it if you do not already have it downloaded to your mobile device. The other big difference between Instagram and Facebook is that it is photo-centric. Now, on Facebook, it's highly encouraged to include a photo with each post, but it is not required. You can just make a text post or a link post to something else. You cannot do that on Instagram. You have to have some sort of an image with it, whether that is a photo or a video. That is the main prominent feature of every single post. When you scroll down your feed, you see the big image, and then down below, you'll see the truncated description and comments. A lot of people don't even stop to look at the text. They just keep scrolling and looking at the images. So make sure you have good, high quality photos or even video to go with every single Instagram post you put out. Instagram actually has a higher engagement rate than any other social media. So what that means is people are far more likely to like or comment on your posts. They actually engage with the content they see on Instagram. There's a little less passive scrolling than there is on something like Facebook or Twitter. So people are actually actively interacting with your content. So it's a pretty good place to be. I don't have it on this slide, but it's also a pretty good place to reach a younger demographic. Facebook obviously is primarily for older folks. I think 45, 50 and up are the largest user base of Facebook. Obviously, for most of you and around here, that is perfectly fine. But if you're looking at reaching, the 30-somethings, the 20-somethings, maybe some of the Seattle people, when we're allowed to travel and get out again, Instagram is a fantastic way to reach them because they are the largest users of that platform. And it has the same ad platform as Facebook. So if you've ever run a Facebook ad, it is a highly intuitive system. You just answer the questions one by one as you go down. You tell it how much you want to pay, and it goes. Instagram, because it is owned by Facebook, works on the exact same platform. So it's just as easy. And you can also run ads on Instagram and Facebook at the exact same time. The biggest thing that you need to know with Instagram, though, is quality is everything. I mentioned it earlier in photos, but you have to have a good quality picture or video to go with every single post you have. Otherwise, people are just gonna not follow you. Instagram, the joke with Instagram is, do it for the aesthetic. How something looks, how it's composed is pretty much 80% of success on Instagram. So obviously, you're not going to be a pro photographer overnight. No one expects you to be. But when you're taking photos for Instagram, don't just snap it on the go and keep moving and think that's good enough. Take a second to consider, your angles, your lighting, what you're actually capturing. Maybe take lots of pictures and then post just the best one. That's actually what professional Instagrammers do. And yes, there are people who make their entire living just posting on Instagram. They will often take thousands, hundreds of thousands of photos in a single shoot, and then they will make one post with that, with one image. So obviously, you've got to be patient with yourself. You have to give yourself time to grow. But good quality images are everything to success on Instagram. So now that we've got through the intro, setup. It's pretty easy. I took screenshots of my phone so you could see, but again, you can actually set up an account on the internet as well. When you first log into, or you first open up the Instagram app on your phone or your tablet, once you've downloaded it, you'll see a screen similar to this. It changes over time, different colors. They'll change the logo up a little bit, but it looks pretty similar to this first screen, which is, on your left. It'll have an Instagram logo, and then the first option it gives you is to continue as your Facebook account if you are logged into Facebook on that device. You can use that if you like. It'll save you connecting your accounts later, but if you don't want to do that, you can also sign up with an email or phone number, and if you click that, you'll see this screen where you can enter your number, email, your full name, and then a username. The username is actually what is going to appear along with all of your posts. So make sure you put a little bit of thought into that. Your business name is a great username. You might have to vary it up a bit because there cannot be two accounts with the same username. So if you have something pretty generic like Toy Store might already exist. So you might have to go Toy Store Whidbey Island or Toy Store Freeland. Fiddle a little bit. It will tell you if the username is available or not. And then obviously you set up a password. So once you actually get into it, it'll walk you through setting up more details on you. So you need a profile picture. It needs to be easy to discern at a small size. As I have here, the suggested amount is 320 by 320, which is like smaller than my eye. It's pretty small, especially when you get on something like a phone. It's very, very tiny. So you people need to be able to understand what your profile picture is of, even though it's small and they can't see details. Your logo is a great profile picture. Maybe not the whole thing. For example, if you've ever seen the Goosefoot logo, like in the top corner here, it's pretty long and you need something that is round and small. If I put that entire logo as my profile picture, it would get cut off in really ways. It would get shrunk down so small that it would be almost undistinguishable. So for Instagram and Facebook, our profile picture is just the G ripple part of it, because that's, the graphical, visually interesting part of our profile. Let's see, Judy's got her hand up. Do you have a question, Judy, or did you just accidentally click a button? If you have a question, please feel free to put it in the chat or the Q&A so I can see it and answer it. Profile pictures, as I said in yesterday's Intro to Facebook crash course, you should almost never change those. That is how people know who you are. It's like if you radically change your hair one day, you cut it in a completely different style and you dye it a different color, nobody would be able to recognize you. Same thing with profile pictures. So pick your profile picture that makes sense for your business. I wouldn't do, the front of your store or anything like that. I really would stick with the logo or your face if your business and your face are very closely tied, such as consultants or therapists. And I would almost never change that. Obviously you can, but my recommendation is to not. The other thing, obviously you have to upload an image as square. It has to be 320 by 320, but Instagram automatically puts a round filter on it. So only things within a circle within the 320 by 320 pixels would show. Whenever you upload a picture, it actually gives you that circle so you can kind of drag things around until you can fit it kind of how you want. And there's usually a zoom function so you can get it the right size that you want. But that's the target goal you should be aiming for with your profile pictures. With your bio, this is your description on your account. It's 150 character limit. So this is not words. This is not just letters. Characters are spaces. They are punctuation. So obviously it's got to be really short, really punchy. You can absolutely use emojis in your bio if that fits with your brand's personality. Obviously emojis are really great for communicating a pretty complex idea in a very short amount of space. For those of you who are maybe a little less tech savvy, an emoji are those little pictures you can get on your phone. Your bio on your profile also includes the only clickable link on your entire Instagram presence. If you put links into your posts, for example, those aren't clickable. It's just the text of the link, and people would have to copy and paste it in order to get into their browser, which, gonna be honest, nobody's gonna do that. Instagram also just makes it very difficult to copy text in general. So it's very difficult to get anybody to click on a link unless it is actually clickable, or as soon as you tap on it, it opens whatever it's supposed to open. And the only clickable link Instagram gives you on the entire platform is one in your description. It does not count against your 150 character limit. It's a different field. So because it is the only clickable link, you should probably change it pretty regularly. Obviously, you can default to the homepage of your website, but if you've just posted about a new workshop that you're running, or a new blog post that you put out, or a new product that you just released, if you're posting about that in one of your posts, you should put the link for that thing specifically in your description, so that in the post you can say, go check out the link in our description for more information. That way people will know they need to click through to your account to actually click on the link and go wherever you want to go. Obviously, if somebody's going back through your feed or they come across an older post and you've changed it, it's a little less helpful, but Can only have one link at a time, so be smart about it. Heidi asked, I set up an Instagram account so long ago, but do not see how I can edit my info. Will you get into this subject? I can show you how it looks on the desktop. I will actually be able to show you how it looks on the app, like I said, in tomorrow night's workshop. But if you're editing your profile on the website, which you absolutely can do, that's one of the things they allow you to. Obviously, here I am on Instagram.com. I'm logged into Coupeville Chambers Instagram. Don't worry about that. You need to go to your profile. This is the same on your page or on your app if you're on your mobile device as well. So you go to your personal profile by clicking on the little circle that has your profile picture on it. And then you can see all of your posts specifically. On the desktop version, I've got this interesting little wheel here. On your app, you're probably going to have 3 lines or 3 dots up in the top corner, or maybe even in the bottom corner that you're going to click on. That's going to open up your settings. On the mobile app, you're going to go into your account and you'll see where to edit that. On the desktop, I'm actually going to go into, where does he? I just looked at it the other day. I've clicked on anything in the settings because unfortunately it doesn't have edit profile in the main settings. But once I'm in this, obviously I can click edit profile and here I go. I can change my profile picture, the name, the username. I can change my website. As you can see, Coupeville Chamber right now is linking to the specific Coupeville Cares group rather than Coupeville Chamber's website. And then this is your bio. This is the 150 character limit. So yeah, this is where you can change all of your information. Wonderful. Glad I could help. Let's see. Quinn asked, assuming the best link to put is to one's website. Yes, I would always default to your website, the homepage of your website. I know not all of you have websites, so your link could be to your Facebook page. Your link could be to anything you really want people to go and look at when they're checking out your profile. But default, the best thing to always link to is your website. Yes. So I would also very heavily encourage you to convert to a business account. If you actually go into the app, and again, apologize, you won't be able to see this. Setting it up to stream on the computer just takes too much time for this 45-minute workshop. But if you're going into those settings again, as I was just explaining, to edit your profile, at the bottom you go to the settings. At the bottom of the settings list, it actually offers you to switch to a business account. If you don't see that here, you can also go into account. And right here at the bottom, there's options such as switch to, since I am already on a business account, it gives me the option to switch to a personal account. But if you're not, it'll give you the option to switch to a business account. I believe they call it something different now because they give you the option to choose if you're going to be a business or if you're going to be a professional. And the difference between that is professionals tend to be internet personalities like bloggers and Instagrammers. Most of you are going to be a business. To be a business account, you have to connect to your business Facebook account. And I know this thing is a little tricky. You can find some guides online. I will include one when I email you all after this workshop. But I will also be going over this tomorrow night's workshop. But I highly recommend you guys convert your account to a business account if you are not already. You have to be a business account in order to sell things on Instagram, in order to run any sort of ads. Even if you're not selling anything, ads are great to gain more attention to your page. And you also have to be a business account in order to access analytics. The analytics are the data that let you know when people are checking out your page, what they're doing with the content, what content's more popular, best times of day to post, and information about your audience, such as their gender and where they're coming from. So obviously, hopefully you guys can see that is very helpful. So you make sure you convert your account to a business account if it's not already. And as I said, I will send out a guide how to do that because I know it's kind of complicated to explain when you can't actually see what I'm trying to get you to do. So hopefully that explains it on the setup. Laurie asked, I see Coupeville Chamber used hashtags in their bio. you have a quick tutorial on hashtags and how they operate? Funny you should mention that. That is actually 2 slides away, so we'll be there in just a second. But thank you for your question. I will definitely be talking about hashtags because they are super integral to how Instagram works. So to break down a post for you on Instagram, for those of you who are not familiar with the platform, obviously you have your photo or your video. If you're on a desktop, this is what it's going to look like. But if you're on your mobile feed, these are going to be slightly switched. So the photo will be up here and all of this stuff in the right side will be below it. But you'll have your photo, and then obviously you can see your profile and your username. You've got the caption, and then you've got some hashtags, hopefully, and then you've got the comments and the likes below that. So this is a joke account, but it has actually achieved its goal of setting the world record for getting the most number of likes. They wanted to beat out Kylie Jenner. But somebody found this nice, pretty stock photo of an egg and posted it up with the goal to beat out Kylie Jenner, and they succeeded. It has 53 million likes. Sometimes Instagram is very silly. Sometimes it's serious, but I just took this because it's a fun, non-controversial post to show you how a post actually looks. Let's see. Julia asked, are you saying you need to set up a Facebook account before you set up an Instagram business account? Yes. You can set up an Instagram account independent of anything on Facebook, but to switch to a business Instagram account, you have to have a business Facebook page. That's just the requirements to prove that you're actually a business and to give you access to all of these tools. So yes, if you do not have a Facebook business page set up, make sure you set one up before you try to convert your Instagram to a business account. Laurie asked, I have not seen underscores before. Underscores in usernames are absolutely okay. That's definitely a tool you can use. As you can see, this person used a lot at the end of their name. It's just something you can put in your username. That's totally fine. It does not work for hashtags, and we'll talk about that in just a second. Oh, interesting. There's an anonymous question. Would a bio be a good place to put like a link to a podcast? Absolutely. That bio link would be a wonderful place to link to your podcast if that's something you have. So absolutely use that link for your podcast. That's a great interactive place to put it. All right. So as you can see, posts are very simple. You can do pretty much whatever you want with them within reason. The other thing with Instagram that I don't really mention here is they very much favor square images rather than anything wider or anything taller. Obviously, you have a little bit of flexibility one way or the other, but they recommend having a square image. So consider that when you're composing pictures for Instagram. Square does best unless you're doing a story and that's full screen, and that's a whole other story. Let's see, Ellen asked, can I change my account name when I switch to personal to business? It's currently my name, not my business name. You can absolutely change your account name at any time in those settings I showed you earlier. That is absolutely okay. So on to the question of the day, hashtags. Some of you might see that word and be like, what is a hashtag? So hashtag very simply is a word or a phrase made up of letters and numbers written together without any spaces or punctuation. It basically serves as a site-wide search term. So obviously, if you're searching for a specific hashtag, such as, hashtag Whidbey Island, you're not going to get the entire internet's results for anybody who has used that hashtag, but you will get all of Instagram results for anybody who has hashtag Whidbey Island. You can absolutely use existing ones, or you can make up your own. The nice thing about hashtags is they do not require you to, fit into the currently existing, box. Obviously, if you use an existing and a popular one, you will get more attention from it. But you do not have to stick to real ones. You can definitely make up your own. You can make up silly ones. You can make a hashtag that is, your own. I started hashtag Bayview Corner with Bayview Corner's Instagram account, and now there's a bunch of Bayview Corner hashtags. So you can absolutely start your own. I would recommend using the most popular or relevant hashtags to get more views. So you have to be careful with hashtags. They have to actually relate to your business or the content. You know, if I'm posting a picture of the Bayview Hall, I'm not going to hashtag it pizza because that has nothing to do with it. And if anybody was looking through the hashtag pizza, they'd be like, what is this? Why is this here? And I would get immediately ignored. So make sure it's actually relevant to what you're posting. But if you use really popular ones, you'll get more eyeballs on it because there's more likelihood that since other people are using it, people are actually looking through that hashtag. Some people might be following that hashtag, because the nice thing on Instagram, unlike Facebook, where you have to follow specific pages or people, you can follow just the hashtag. I do that on a lot of my accounts. I follow hashtag Coopville, hashtag Whidbey Island, whatever, because I want to see anybody who's posting within that, not just the people I already know about. You can have 10 to 30 hashtags on a single post. Obviously, you could do none. You could do a few. You really shouldn't do more than 30. But I would recommend somewhere in that 10 to 30 window. You can incorporate it in the text. You can add them all at the end of the post, or you can, even if you don't like how they look, you can do them all in the first comment of your post, and it will still work and show up in those hashtag searches. So don't be afraid. I'm not going to tell you which one is better. It's honestly whatever your personality type is, because wherever you put the hashtag, it all functions the same on the site. So you don't have to worry about fitting into a particular mold. Use them how you like. And even you guys, some of you might be thinking like 10 to 30 is a lot. And I agree, 30 is a lot. There's definitely some very popular people who do that many every single time. I'm much more on the like 10 end, and it makes sense when you think about it. I have, going back to Bayview Corners Instagram account, I have 5 hashtags that I use every single time I post, no matter what I'm posting about. I use hashtag Whidbey, hashtag Whidbey Island, hashtag Bayview Corner, hashtag Bayview Cash Store, and then I will often tag it with community or something like that. So that is just, or sorry, the other one I always do is hashtag Whidbey Life. So there's 5 hashtags that I just use standard because that's where I'm physically located. Then I have all the hashtags to get into of what it's actually about. Hashtag community, hashtag, wine tasting, hashtag open mic, hashtag history, whatever I'm actually talking about. And I will use multiple hashtags that mean roughly the same thing, because different hashtags occur to different people, and I want to get as many eyes on my post as I can. So it sounds like a lot, but once you actually get into it, it disappears pretty quickly. Also, a good rule of thumb that I use, it's a good little trick to help make my life easier. Those 5 or so hashtags that I use every single time I post, I actually have those saved in the Notes app on my phone, so that whenever I'm going into a post, I can just copy them all and paste them into the post. I don't have to type them out individually every single time. Let's see, Laurie asked, how do we know what is a popular hashtag? I'll show you on the next screen. And Heidi asks, since I use the same base hashtags, is there a way to copy and save them so I don't have to? Oh, never mind. I already answered that. It's nice when that happens. All right. So to answer Lori's question, how do you know what a popular hashtag is? Oops. Actually, I don't have that saved. Sorry. I thought I copied that slide over from the full workshop. I'll show you really quickly. When you're on Instagram, if you search for a hashtag such as hashtag Whidbey, you start typing, it comes up with suggestions. So as you can see, I've got hashtag Whidbey here. Hashtag Whidbey alone has 51,000 posts. Hashtag Whidbey Island has 262,000 posts. So hashtag Whidbey Island is actually more popular. It's interesting. There's about 2,000 misspellings of Whidbey. Hashtag Whidbey Life is decent, whereas hashtag Whidbey Flower Works is pretty small. So you can see right here, it tells you how many users there are on it, or how many posts are within that hashtag. So obviously, hashtag Whidbey Island is pretty decent. There's nothing stopping you from using both. I just mentioned I actually do. I regularly use hashtag Whidbey Island, hashtag Whidbey Life on the same post. So you can absolutely use multiple of them. You can also see, you know, something like happy has 82 million. That is a huge number. Happy Easter has 11 million, almost 12 million. So you can just do some generic searching to see, I'm thinking of using this, and it'll give you kind of related suggestions you could play off of, and it'll tell you how popular it is. You can also honestly just search, you know, popular Instagram hashtags, and it'll tell me, all right, currently the 25 top ones are these ones. However, this is from September, so that might not be completely accurate. There's a lot of tools out here that give you hashtag suggestions based on what's currently popular. So let's see. Popular hashtags are these ones right now. They change semi-regularly. This is the top 100 hashtags today, in the last 7 days, in the last month, and all time. So there's a lot of tools out there that'll let you look. Another great way to find good hashtags that you might want to jump off of is to just look at other people's posts. You know, what hashtags do they use? What hashtag got your attention? And if you're interested in following hashtags, as I mentioned earlier, you know, say I wanted to follow the hashtag Whidbey Island, you actually search that hashtag, and then at the top here gives you this nice big blue button that says follow. So you could see all of the hashtags that all of the posts people make that include that hashtag. It's automatically set top posts. When you're on your mobile device and you have more options, you can also switch to most recent. But that's how you follow a hashtag. Julia asked, when you make up your own, where does it take you? It will take you to a search page like this, but only your post will be on that hashtag. All hashtag search pages look like this, but if you use one, you know, if I use Goosefoot webinars, which is one no one has used, obviously it won't take me somewhere. But if I use, you know, hashtag Goosefoot warmers, one post, one person has used the hashtag Goosefoot warmers. So I can see it takes me the same looking search results, but it only gives me the one post. So it'll take you to the exact same search page, no matter what you use. But obviously, if it's one you made up or nobody else has really used it, only your posts are going to be in that hashtag, which could be useful. So that's hashtags. They're a lot of fun. As you saw, you can put them in your bio, you can put them on your post, you can put them in the comments. There's really nowhere you can't put hashtags. My big warning I will give you is I would actually, if you are the type to automatically share your post from Instagram to Facebook, I would put your hashtags either in afterwards or put them in the first comment, because it automatically shares your entire post to Facebook, and hashtags don't do well on Facebook. The more hashtags you use, but even starting at the first hashtag, the amount of interaction studies have shown just tanks. So by all means, Instagram is very popular with hashtags. That's how the site functions. That's how you find things of interest. Hashtags do not translate well to Facebook at all. Do people have to follow your page in order to see your post, or do others who use the same hashtag see your post? So if somebody follows you, they automatically see your posts on their feed. Oops, did I close the Q&A window? Let me open that again. So if someone follows you, if I go down my feed, these are all the people I follow, so I see their posts. But if I'm following any hashtags, I don't think I am on this account. I am on Goosefoots, for example. But if I was following a hashtag, I would actually see that hashtag. So instead of their username, it would actually show the hashtag that I was tracking, and then it would show their username below it. So if you use hashtags, if anybody is tracking that particular hashtag, you will absolutely show up in their regular feed just like they were following you. But only that one post, not all of your posts, unless you use that hashtag on all of your posts. But after a time with them seeing your name over and over, they'll probably be like, oh, I should just follow this person. So yeah, if somebody is tracking a hashtag, you can show up in their regular feed, even if they're not following you. So some quick content tips, and then some other additional tips, and we'll try to wrap this up because I know we only have about 10 minutes left. Use Instagram to put a face on your brand. Let people know who you are, what you're passionate about, why you got into it. You know, as a small business, your people make you. It's all about the face. It's all about that personal connection, that personal interaction. That's what Instagram thrives on. So it's the perfect place for small businesses to get their message out. When you post, make sure you provide value and show appreciation to your followers. Instagram is a very overall positive platform. Sometimes it's manufactured positivity, but that's what people go to Instagram for. They want inspiration. They want that happy, warm, fuzzy feeling. So when you're posting, don't just post to post. Instagram actually, the standard is to post much less frequently than pretty much all other social media. You'll see so many articles out there telling you should be posting 10 times a day on Facebook, which please don't do that around here. That's not going to go well. You will never find a reputable article recommending you post more than once or twice a day on Instagram. And even that, you can go much less without being penalized. You could post once a week. You could post a couple of times a month, and Instagram's perfectly fine with that. So when you post to Instagram, make sure it's something of value. Make sure you're informing, educating, entertaining, distracting. You're giving them something. It's not about you. I mean, obviously the content of the post is probably going to be about you, but the reason for the post is to give them something. And, thank them in the comments, in the post itself. Let people know you appreciate their support, you appreciate the community, you appreciate them leaving comments. Thank people for interacting with you. You can use stories to spark a call to action. Unfortunately, I don't have time to talk about stories in this crash course. We will talk about those tomorrow night, but stories are short 24-hour content. They take up the entire screen. Somebody clicks on the little rainbow circle around your profile picture and they get your story. It only exists for 24 hours and then it goes away forever. You can use stories because that creates that sense of fear of missing out and the sense of urgency and immediacy. Ask people to do something with the story. Ask them to go, check out your website or buy this product or leave a comment or vote on a poll. Get them to do something with it because the format already creates that sense of urgency and that immediacy. Get them to act on it and tell them explicitly what you want them to do. You can absolutely use Instagram to boost sales. Show your product or your service in real life. Show off the customers who enjoy it or have been changed by it. Take really nice, interesting pictures of it. The vast majority of Instagram users, I think about, I can't remember if it was 60 or 80%. I have too many statistics in my head and I get them crossed sometimes. But more than half of all Instagram users have purchased something they saw on Instagram within the last 6 months. I'm guilty of that. I find stuff on Instagram that I'm like, ooh, that's neat. I want to buy it. People definitely use Instagram to shop, so don't be afraid to use that tool. Overall, tell interesting stories, whether that's about you, whether that's about your customers or your clients, it's about your products or your services, how you got into the business, why you do what you do, how you do what you do. It's all about crafting that story. So keep that in mind. What story do you want to share? Don't be afraid to go live. You can absolutely click on a live video and people can immediately see you as you're talking. Obviously, there could be hiccups with live, as you guys have noticed in this workshop. I've lost my train of thought a couple of times. If I was recording this ahead of time, I probably would have stopped and retaken it, but it's live, baby. We got to keep running. Last Thursday, if you came to my Intro to Facebook class, I got the workshop started, and I noticed my lighting was terrible. So I pulled my lamp over to get that, and I unplugged my entire CPU. So I had to get my computer started back up and get back into it. And in the process of that, I completely forgot to hit record again. So I don't have that workshop recorded. Obviously, there's hiccups with live, but live is more engaging. I can see that by the fact that I get sometimes 20 of you into these workshops, and then our YouTube channel where we archive all of the videos have like 2 views per video. So it's more engaging, it's more welcoming, it's more personal, because because of my habit of looking at the camera, I look like I'm talking to you rather than talking to a camera. And that's what I want. I want that engagement. I want that community. Lori just asked how you go live. So when you actually, if you're on your Instagram account, if you click on your profile picture on your main feed, it'll open up your story and it'll give you the option to go live. It's one of these options down here. So fiddle with that. I will also absolutely talk about that tomorrow. I'm sorry I keep saying come to tomorrow's workshop, but it's really just so hard to go through everything here. How long do you go live? As long as you need. You can go live for just a short, like 30 seconds. You can go live for an extended period of time. The biggest swell of going live I saw was, 3 years ago when some politics stuff was happening. A lot of politicians were going live on Instagram and actually reading bills. So there's not, I don't know what the upper limit is, but it's really long. So that does create some issues on archiving it, because Instagram tends to truncate videos posted within a minute. So the video will only play for a minute once it's actually on your feed, but Instagram does have IGTV, so you can actually preserve the entire video, but you can absolutely go live for an extended period of time. I would recommend sticking to around 10 minutes. That means you have enough to say that it's actually worth listening to, but it's not so long and rambly that people will get distracted. So my sweet spot for going live on Instagram is 5 to 10 minutes. Don't talk for too long. The longer you talk, the more you put your foot in your mouth. But you've got enough to say that people have time to find your feed and log in, but you're also still being entertaining or informative. You can absolutely use Instagram to build connections. So don't just make it about you. Don't go on Instagram just when you have something to post. Go check out your followers' feeds, comment and like on other people's posts. Every single time I get a comment on any one of the accounts I run, I always click through to check out the person's profile. I want to see what kind of person they are, what kind of content they follow, and sometimes I will follow them. So that's actually a pretty sound strategy on Instagram to grow your own followers, is to go and follow or comment or like other people's stuff, because then they'll go and check out you in return. If you're in a professional industry where networking is really important, Instagram is a great place to do this. Follow the people you would like to connect with, leave comments and likes on their posts, send them private messages, use it as a networking tool, because at the end of the day, it is a social media platform. It is about person to person. Quinn asked, is there a way to connect Instagram to a YouTube channel? Unfortunately, there is not. Instagram and Facebook are competing with YouTube on video. They very much want people to stay on their platform. They want people to use IGTV, not YouTube. So YouTube is not one of the platforms they allow you to connect with. You could always put your YouTube link in your bio. They don't obviously block it, but there is unfortunately not a way to connect those two platforms. Lori, I am for hire. They do actually employ me. I do freelancing stuff outside of this, but I try to keep my freelance stuff and Goosefoot stuff separate. So I can talk about that with you later if you'd like, but I'm going to keep moving. Alexandra asked, when someone is following you that is not one you want to be associated with, can you unfollow? If somebody is following you, one, there's not a whole lot of association necessarily if somebody's following you, because you don't have control over how people interact with you necessarily. But if somebody is being very inappropriate, it's a account that honestly should be reported because it's racist or sex or something disgusting. And you really don't want them commenting on your posts, you don't want them seeing your stuff, you can block people. So when you click on their name or profile and you go over to their profile, block is one of the top options. So absolutely block with wild abandon. I go through random stages where I get a lot of porn bots that follow me, a lot of fake Instagram accounts with straight up pornography on them. And I always, when I have the time, I go through and I block and report them. So blocking is absolutely an option. If you block someone, they cannot see your account, they cannot see any of your posts, they cannot interact with you, and they get removed from your follower list. So use that block tool if you need it. And then my last content tip really is to stay up to date with trends. Things are changing constantly on every platform. How people post, what they post about. When Instagram started, it was almost all food. It was all food pictures. And food and coffee is still a large part of Instagram, but it's not everything. And so the trends change constantly. How hashtags work, what kind of hashtags people are using, what they're talking about, what they're posting about. The only way you can really know what's up is there's two ways. One, you can spend time on the platform, just poking around, looking at the top stuff. Or you can do something I do as well. There's actually a lot of online classes out there on Instagram. It's usually from people who that's their entire business, is either teaching people how to use Instagram or teaching working Instagram for other people. And it is a sales tool for them. They are giving you this free hour-long workshop because they're hoping you'll sign up for more advanced classes. So there are advanced classes out there you can absolutely pay for. But I take a lot of those free classes, even though I know a lot about how Instagram works, just because I want to stay up to date with the trends. And there's always that one little nugget of information I could add to my own stuff as well. So a lot of tools out there to stay up to date. Quinn asked, will the advanced Instagram class be online? Yes, it will. I was being optimistic at the time, and I only put all of our April classes on Zoom, but with the schools closing for the rest of the year, I am aware that I'm going to be teaching all of these classes online. So those Zoom links will be up soon. You can also email me if you'd like to sign up for any classes that aren't yet on Zoom, but totally going to be online. So have fun with your posts. That is my biggest advice. If you take anything out of this workshop, it is to have fun. Instagram is a fun, positive, entertaining tool. A lot of people use it to connect. A lot of people use it to enjoy themselves and distract themselves. If you're not having fun with your Instagram, you're not going to get very far, because people can tell when it's miserable and it's pulling teeth for you. And nobody wants to be at the party with the person who's sitting in the corner and with rain clouds over their head. It's just not fun. So find a way to have fun with your posts, whether that's your own inside running joke, whether you have, hide something in the picture, or even just find a way to take pictures or communicate ideas that's actually enjoyable for you. Have fun with it. Instagram built into the app gives you a lot of options for filters and stickers. You can add text to your post that can glitter and shimmer. Take some goofy pictures and videos. It doesn't have to be serious all the time. And when you include people in your pictures, include smiling people. It's more welcoming, it's more inviting. People want to connect with smiling people. So if you're gonna take pictures of people, get them to smile in it. But have fun and don't be afraid to be silly. So that is our time. We are about 5 minutes over. Again, there's so much more I could talk about with this awesome platform. I have a 2-hour workshop tomorrow night if you're interested. If you can't come, because I know, it's dinner time, that will be up on our YouTube channel. You can see our whole list of future workshops on our Facebook page or our website. But thank you guys so much for joining me. Thank you so much for asking all of these great questions. Thank you guys. Heidi asked, any problem with posting people or brands? Let's see. I'm not a lawyer. I will start with that. But there's little chance there's going to be much trouble with posting a picture of people that are adults, because technology is so prevalent. Cameras are everywhere. That's just our society. So if you take a picture and it includes other people and you post it, that's just the way things are. If somebody asks you to take a picture down, it's just common courtesy to do so, but you're not legally required. The only way it gets really tricky with people is if you're including minors. Minors, you legally need permission, and you need written permission. So if you're taking a picture of people's kids, make sure you have written, either in an email or an actual waiver that you got them to sign, that they are okay with you posting that picture. Posting kids is very, very tricky. It's still such a gray area because a lot of people are keeping their kids offline for, legal or moral reasons. So, but with adults, it's fair game. That's just how our world works. Brands, that can be tricky. So if I, was wearing a branded Disney t-shirt, I'm not going to get in trouble for that. If the post is all about that, I am only talking about, the Little Mermaid doll that I bought, that can be tricky. You have to prove that you did not get paid for that. If you did get paid, whether that it was in product or with money or something else, you have to disclose that legally. You have to tell people that this is a paid opportunity. But you can post about things. If something copyrighted just happens to be in the background of one of your pictures or videos, that's fine. You're not gonna get in trouble for that. Pretty much the only industry that's really gonna come after you is music. So do not include copyrighted music in your videos. Let's see, Alexandra asked, how best to register for Thursday class? The link is on our website or in our Facebook page, or you can also just email me at the email on the screen and I can do it for you. So whatever works best for you. I'm glad these classes are easy for people to attend online. It's I always love using technology in ways that will be helpful, and I never know where it's going to take us. So I was glad that Goosefoot employs me and gives me the opportunity to pivot how I do things so that I can be of help however I can to businesses, because this is the biggest way for me to ease my anxiety. I'm so glad they're informative and fun, and I'm so glad you guys always keep joining me. Thank you so much. I'm gonna go ahead and stop the recording.